Hello and welcome to the Drop a Stitch podcast.
I'm your host, Natalie.
And I'm your other host, Dani.
And today we're talking about knitting and crocheting while traveling, especially on an airplane.
Yes, everything that is allowed and not allowed, and things that you can bring on the plane
And
while
how to
traveling.
bring it.
Yes, based on our experience.
Yes, of course. We don't know absolutely everything.
We don't know like all the rules and stuff. This is just what we have lived, I guess.
In the different places we've visited.
Uh-huh. And all of these before we had kids, because now it's nearly impossible to knit or do anything while traveling.
On a plane. Yeah, I know.
I mean, at least for me, you have a baby, so maybe for you it's easier.
Yeah, no, I didn't touch my things at all. I brought them with me, but I didn't touch them at all.
Oh, I didn't even dare to bring them on the plane this time. I was like, what is even the point?
It's called wishful thinking.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I was like,
You
not even
have
bother.
experience. I didn't have any experience, so I was, hopeful.
Oh yeah, that's okay. That's nice. Now you know.
Now I know, yes. But before we get into that, how was your week?
Really good, actually. It's been productive. It's been like somewhat quiet. I've been going through these, like, how do you call it? It's funny how people call it, like a lull, whatever.
Lull, yes.
Like a lull. With my inspiration and creativity, I got really inspired right when we got here. So I had so many ideas and everything that I was doing in these past couple of days. I think it's because I just got my period, so that maybe
yes,
influence,
affects things.
Affects things. So I was like a little bit down, but I've been just trying to think what I want to do. I have my ideas, but when you're trying to get something done and it doesn't work and you kind of get like frustrated.
Yes.
Or you're like, oh, I don't want to keep trying. And so then you need to wait to the next day to try again and see if it works. And if it still doesn't, you're like, oh man. And it just kind of goes like,
yep, downhill from there.
Oh yeah, that's how I've been feeling the past couple of days. But I want to blame it on my period,
which is quite possible.
Yes. But the thing that I've been doing, like I asked you last night about the temperature blanket, because when I get like this, I try to focus on different things. Mm-hmm. So I try to start maybe making something that's different and that's not related to a pattern, something for me. So I was just getting the kids' temperature blankets ready and planning everything. So like that just got me out of
the funk.
Yeah, I need to make the patterns and it's not working kind of mindset. So yeah, but
that's fun.
Other than that, it's been great. What about you?
I'm like the opposite. I'm so like motivated. There's so many things I want to do, and like my issue right now is like, if you've had a baby, you know how it is. You have very short little bursts of time to work on things.
Yeah.
So like I started so many different things, but like knitting, crochet, and like not, and like having gotten nothing done, and it feels like I'm never gonna get anything done because at this rate. But like I need to like pick one focus and like get it done. But like I've started like so many different things. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this. And, like I just want to do everything.
Yeah.
But I haven't finished anything yet. But like it's good.
It
feels good to be creative, and like it's been so nice. Like the weather has been so nice.
I know.
Like
it's been really good.
Like it's been like kind of the perfect transition back. Like we haven't. I think there was one cold day since really cold day since we got back. So like I've been like taking a walk every afternoon with Theo, and like it's
the day that it was super windy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
There's one day that was
And the other.
It was like 16 yesterday. Like it was wonderful. Like I took a walk and like, it was so nice. So like it feels good. Like it feels like, like that when you have like that winter like depression, like it's all dark and whatever. And, like, usually it's like when we change the clocks that like you're like, oh, I can see the sun again. It feels so good. Like I had that this week, even though we're only changing the clocks this weekend. So
wait, are we?
Yes.
This weekend?
We spring forward in the night of Saturday to Sunday.
No way, I didn't know that. I forgot.
So we lose an hour Saturday.
Yay!
Yes.
Nice. Okay, that's good.
So I feel like I'm a week ahead of everyone. Like I've got the little like spring burst already.
Yeah. The other thing that's been a little bit that sucks is both of my kids are getting sick.
Oh no.
Yes. So today Isa woke up with the worst cough and runny nose, and she still has that. She's such a tough little girl. She's been like, trying to have all her energy. Meanwhile, she's like walking and her nose is all runny and gross. Kid. And then she's coughing and sneezing, and she's got that, you can hear her cough. So it's been like, today was really bad for them because they were both feeling like crap, and there's nothing they can do. They don't know what's happening. Yeah. And then I'm trying to clean her nose with the booger sucker, and she's screaming bloody murder like this poor girl. And then Luca's like looking at her, and I'm like, buddy, it's okay, because she doesn't know how to blow her nose, so you can blow your nose. He's like, yeah, I know how to blow my nose, mommy.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm like, yeah, no, I know, I did it to you when you were a baby too. You didn't like it either. And then Luca was like, mommy, what's happening to my nose? I was like, what's happening? He's like, I don't know. I can't, nothing's happening. I'm like, oh, you can't breathe through your nose?
You're congested.
He's like, yes. I said, okay, breathe through your mouth. You're fine. You're just getting sick, just like your sister. You're going to have to blow your nose. He's like, no, I'm fine now, mommy. I'm fine. Meanwhile, I know he's getting sick as
he's
well.
Just like, no, I'm not blowing my nose.
Exactly. So, like, I know that these days ahead of me in the weekend are not going to be fun, but
yeah,
poor babies. And then I try to get Isa to have some honey, because now she's old enough that she can have honey, and that's the best thing for their cough. Like, that's literally the best thing you can give them, and she doesn't like it.
Oh no.
Luca loves honey, so every time he's got a cough, I give him a spoon of honey. He's like, yes, mommy, another one. I'm like, sure. I give him another one, and he's fantastic. And then his cough goes away really quick, because the honey literally, like, that's what's on every cough syrup.
Yeah.
But Isa doesn't like it. I try putting it in her soother, and she just says, no. So yeah.
Poor girl.
I know, it's gonna be interesting, but it sucks.
Yeah.
Poor things.
It always sucks when they're sick.
I know.
But speaking of temperature blanket, I also picked the color for Theo's.
Okay, so I picked the ones for Luca because I'm planning it on my iPad. Like, I want to have it all ready. I screenshot the colors to have them all laid out. Like, I want it to be perfect. And I'm making your pattern, obviously, because I love how yours looks. I love the stitch. I just, I'm not going to think it twice. I'm going to do that. And maybe then for my other future temperature blankets, I might do something different, but for now, I want to make your pattern. But the thing is that the yarn that I want to use, which is Wool Ace by Lion Brand, I love it so much because I really like Isa's blanket, the one I made for her. It's super light, yet still warm, and I love knowing that the temperature blanket is going to be really big, but it's not going to be super heavy because of the yarn. But the color, there's just not that many color options. So I know for Isa, I want to include all of the pinks that has that yarn. But for Luke, I don't want to have any pinks. So then I'm so limited. Yeah. So whenever
Did you check online? Do they have more online?
I checked online. Online, and those are all the ones they have. So I might need to check Michael's and see if they have a different one. Yeah. But whenever you told me there's 12 colors, I had 7. I was like, 12. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep looking to need to add 5 more.
Yeah. I mean, you can always like widen the range of colors, but then you'll get less variation.
Yeah. So I don't know if I might do that. I might get until whatever I can. I just really don't want to add any pinks to Lucas' blanket. Maybe purple. I'm just looking at it, but there is like a lot of teals, nice blues, grays, and then mustard and the colors,
Of course,
like
mustard.
those browns that I really like. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be really nice. Oh, and there's the nice orange that I could add. I didn't know it was that nice, but I have it in here, and it looks kind of nice. So maybe I can add that for like these super hot days.
Yeah.
But then, you don't add any cream color other than for the separation of the months, right?
In mine, I didn't know, but you can always do it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, because I really have 5 more colors that I need to pick. They have nice pinks, so I think this is gonna be really easy. It's just Luca.
Yeah.
The one that...
Are you doing both at once?
I think I want to do both at once, just because I don't want to feel like, oh, I'm done with one and then I don't want to have to make another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think
it's
I'm
like
going to do...
the second sock syndrome or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Second sleeve.
The second
you got to
sleeve.
do both at once.
Speaking of socks.
Ooh, you started making socks?
I know. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm showing on the camera. But
we bought this yarn. Is that the yarn we bought in Chile?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the teeny tiny needles
oh my gosh, the needles. Okay, so I'm going to do a little close up in here for everybody to see it. This yarn is like a creamy with little speckles of colors.
Yeah.
And okay, so the
I'm
needles.
so proud of you.
Thanks. So this is what I was doing the other day when I got like that big, what's it called again? Lull, yeah. Yeah. When I got these big like funk. And I was like, I don't want to
funk.
Yeah, when I got in a big funk, and I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to make something for myself, something that I don't have to think too much, and I'm going to try the socks, because we got the needles, like we said it in the last episode, and we got the yarn. And holy cow, working with these teeny tiny knitting needles, not the size of the needle itself, the freaking cable.
I told you.
Holy.
It's a learning curve.
I asked Amanda about, to give me her tips and tricks, because she's the queen of the socks.
Yes.
And she's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a little learning curve. Just make sure you stretch right before and after. And I was like, oh my God. Yep. I need to stretch now. I never do that.
Yeah, you probably should.
Oh my God. But then she told me you use different muscles in your hand because of the little knitting needles. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like, it's not hard. Like, I can get the hang of it. It's just, it's true. You have to use different, like,
yes,
your fingers.
Because you're not holding like full on. You're using like fingers.
Exactly. And I also feel like it would be easier I knit continental. So I feel like it would be easier for people that knit English.
Yes.
Just because you don't have to grab it like this. You literally grab it like that, and then you
loop over.
Exactly. So like, I feel like it would be easier, but because I knit continental, it's harder for me. But I don't know how long it's gonna take me to finish these socks. I'm hoping not too long, because I'm planning of giving a pair away for Christmas. So
you have time before Christmas.
This has taken me like 2-3 days. Well, I haven't knit all day, but
no. But by the time you're at the second sock, you'll be like super quick.
I know, but I consider myself a really fast knitter.
Yes.
Like,
I'm kind of like, there's really a little part of
fast.
me that's very satisfied to see that there's something that you're slower at. Maybe there's something that I'm faster at than you. Like, this is actually like, I like this. It makes me want to make a pair of socks just to finish them before you. I'm not gonna, but.
Oh my God. Like, I'm a very fast knitter. You guys, like, I can knit faster than I can crochet, and I'm also a faster crocheter.
Yeah.
And to know that the first round took me like 10 minutes, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this, because it's taking me too long. But now look, I'm getting the hang of it, and I can just go a little bit faster.
You'll be like going straight through.
Yeah. So I feel like it's just a little bit of learning, and then you get used to it, but it's fun. But the first little bit, I was like, holy cow.
So are you following a pattern?
Nope.
Amanda just told you what to do?
Amanda told me what to do. She said that we should have a knit night so then she can show me, which I totally agree.
And we have to record a podcast with Amanda too.
I know. She has to tell us everything because you guys, she's the queen of the socks. Like, she can make socks. Like, I can make hats. Like, you can make hats. Like, I don't know. She just whip up socks. Like
last year for Christmas, she gave everybody socks. She made hand knit socks for everyone. It's insane.
I know.
Okay, but we'll do that. We'll have a knit night. We'll invite her on the podcast at the same time. That'll be fun.
I know. Yeah, so we have to do that. But what are you working on? I show what I'm working on. What are you working on? I need to know.
I'm still working on my flax light sweater, the one that I brought to Chile and barely got.
Oh, but you have a lot. Like, you did a lot. You did a lot.
I mean, I did like, I finished the increases. I separated the sleeves, and I've done.
Because you didn't separate the sleeves in Chile, right?
No, I did it when we got back.
Yeah, so that's a lot. You have done a lot.
Yeah, I've done a lot. That's what I work on. Like, again, it's my mindless, like,
project.
Knitting. Like, yeah. So I've been, like, I said earlier, I've been taking walks with Theo, and, like, his afternoon nap, he always falls asleep when I take a walk with him. So I time it for his afternoon nap, and go take a walk, and then he falls asleep. And then I don't wake him. I wait till he wakes up to, like, bring him back inside because it's been so nice. So, like, the one day I, like, went and sat on a park bench and just knitted while he slept. The other day I got back home and he was asleep. I thought he would wake up by then, and he wasn't. So I, like, took my knitting out on the back porch and just knitted until he woke up. So, like,
that's nice.
It's not very long. It's like a 15-20 minutes here and there, but
still,
it's a little moment for me, and I get to make progress because I'm, like, actually hoping to wear it. Like,
for the spring.
Like,
I have a plan for another pattern that I'm like, I've been seeing these granny square cardigans everywhere, and I'm like, I need to make one with my squares.
Yes.
Whether the one I use for either of my blankets, and I'm gonna use the Malabrigo yarn. And it's going to be beautiful.
Yes.
And I just don't know if I should do it with the merino wool because it's still soft and really nice. Or I have cotton that it's from Malabrigo.
Ooh, I think cotton for spring.
I know, it's nice, but I'm like, the other one is still super light. Like, I can still wear it. Yeah.
Do one with the cotton for the spring and then one with the merino for, like, the fall. Yeah. So, like, I'm so looking forward to do that. And one tip that I wanted to say when I was talking about that, my funk that I had that I went through these past couple of days, and I want to blame it on my period because I think that's what it is, is that whenever I get into that mindset and, like, that, you know, I try to do things that are very achievable for me. Yeah. That I can get done and that won't require anything. For example, I get like that and I was just trying to think what I needed to do and what I needed to make. I was making samples of things that they weren't coming out how I wanted, so I was just getting a little bit frustrated. So I just thought, you know what, I'm not gonna focus on anything else. I'm just gonna grab these and make socks, something that I don't have to think anything, and just follow a pattern or follow something and then just not think about it. Or last night, for example, when I was trying to do the other thing, and I also thought I was also getting a little bit frustrated with some things, I was like, I'm just going to plan my temperature blanket. It's easy. I don't have to think too much. I'm just going to choose my colors, have a nice layout on my iPad notes, and just, you know, do this that I need to get done and that it's easy for me. And not focus on the things that I can do right now and that they are frustrating me. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I feel like that was really good. But yeah, that's my little tip.
Let's get into our episode.
And after 20 minutes of talking, let's get into
You've made it through all of this blah blah. Welcome to
this is us, you guys.
Episode.
No, you know what? I feel like our listeners, they know us already.
Yes.
And it's fun.
I hope they enjoy I'm gonna say it again. Portion.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say it again. I really like when I listen to podcasts and people just talk.
Well, because you get to, like, that's how you get to know them, right?
Yeah.
They're not just like, let's talk about a subject, blah, blah, blah. Like, you get to know a bit more about them, about their lives, and, like, that's
It's
fun.
not like you're in class.
No, it's like the behind the scenes on Instagram. It's the same thing.
Yeah, okay, before we get started, I just need to show you something because I forgot to show you off camera.
Okay.
And, okay, you guys. I'm a very, very influenceable person. Is that how you say it?
What did you get? Yes. What did you get? What did you get?
I'm super influenceable. I got 2 things. Wait. Okay. I was gonna make a couple stories on Instagram to show it and to tell people like how freaking influenceable I am. First of all, Natalie, every time she tells me that she gets a new bag, like I need that bag. You know, for the bags for knitting projects, like carrying yarn or whatever.
I got another one.
No, you got another one? Stop. Which one is it? And like send me the link.
It's like, I'm gonna send you the link. I don't have it, it's upstairs, but I got one at IKEA. Like, it's just like a reusable bag, but like I wanted to get you one. I literally grabbed the last one. I'm sure they'll have more. It's mustard, girl. It's mustard.
Stop. Okay, send me the picture. I need the picture.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh my god. Okay, so the here's the thing. Every time I see Natalie using something, I need it, and vice versa. Whenever I have something, she's like, send me the links, and I send it to her. Like, I showed her my little tripod that I got.
Yeah, and her wallet in Chile, and I literally timed it so my Amazon order would arrive the same day as I would.
Yeah. Anyway, so Natalie has a little tin box for all of her notions. That's still...
Yeah. It's okay. Keep going.
For all of my notions, for all of her notions. So I've been wanting one, and I couldn't find anything. So I got one off Amazon, but it's so small.
Oh, no.
I know. Okay, so it's this little guy.
Oh, it's tiny.
It's so tiny. Like, it fits. It's like maybe a not even 2-inch by like 1 something. It fits my little stitch markers and things like that, but not really what I wanted. It's like super tiny. It's cute, but really tiny.
Okay, so I have mine. Mine is literally an Altoid. I don't know why it's not focusing, but it's an Altoids like mint thing that I just ate the mints, and I have like all my like needles and notions.
It's the perfect size.
Yeah,
I found some other ones. Eh?
I can get you one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I seen another ones on Amazon, but they are just plain silver.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, I don't want plain. At least this one's cute.
Yeah.
I would love if they have this one in a I don't. But the other thing that I got, and I'm so excited to try it, because I seen everybody using it, and I seen Tony showing it the other day. Okay. Tony from TL Yarn. It's this thingy.
What is? Oh my god.
Okay, so
to
wait a second.
hold your phone and film while you're doing. Yeah.
So this is a neck holder. So you literally pop it open. You guys need to see this on
YouTube.
YouTube if you're not, because it's gonna be hard to tell what it is. But it's basically just like a neck holder. You put it around your neck.
A necklace basically, and there's a thing that holds your phone.
And it's like pretty heavy. It's like a really heavy, dirty. Let me just. I can't with one hand, but whatever. I'm just gonna pretend I'm. Oh, there it is. It's like pretty heavy duty, and you can't like this thing, like the necklace, the neck part. Yeah. It's super like heavy, and you can mold it however.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and it's got this thing because all phones have the magnet, I guess. Mm-hmm. So you literally put it in here. I can't show you guys the phone right now because I'm recording my video with it. But you put it in here, and you can literally do whatever with your hands and record at the same time.
That's amazing.
And you guys have no idea how much I struggle to have some clips of me recording my hands. I love whenever I'm making my blankets. I love laying my blankets and recording a few stitches that I'm making. And I usually have to take my big tripod and have the long arm that goes like above and shows. And it's just like this huge show. And I record it also with my phone, but I just need my big tripod. And I have every single tripod that you guys can imagine. I have them all.
Yes, she does.
And now I can just put it in here. And this is like, look, this is heavy. It's not going anywhere. So you put it in here. You can do. I'm so excited to try it in an actual video.
That's awesome.
And everybody's getting it. And I was like, yeah, I need to. Like, there's no way. So yeah, we'll leave the link in the
in the description.
podcast, in the description if you guys want it. It's so freaking cool. Like I'm so excited to try it.
I'm gonna get one.
Are you gonna get one? You should get
for
one.
sure.
It's so good. And I tried it. I tried it the other day, and it's good. Like, to see how it looks, and it's really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any
okay.
more updates?
No more updates other than my baby also woke up.
Oh no.
She's sick. I know she never wakes up, and she's awake because she's sick. So I'm like, poor baby.
Poor baby.
But that's our on kids' duty tonight because we're recording.
Exactly.
Okay, so
traveling,
knitting,
crochet.
What do you do? Have you done it?
Yes, multiple times. I mean, we went to Our Maker Life in Calgary together, where we flew from Ottawa to Calgary. Yeah. And literally knitted our way there because that was before we had kids. So we had all the time in the world to knit.
Did I make anything? I don't remember making anything, but I remember having everything. I just don't remember if I had anything. I knew you were working on that like tank top.
Yes, the tank top that I wore there.
Yes.
And then I remember I also made a hat because
for the hat not hate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I had brought yarn to make one while we were there, and I made it and donated it. So, yeah. I don't remember what you were working on. You worked on something for sure, because we had knit nights while we were there.
Yes, but I don't remember if I made something. I remember I was helping Katrina make her cardigan so she could wear it
there
for the event. I don't remember what I was making. I probably wasn't working on anything specific. That's why I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll help you with the cardigan.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've both flown. I've flown to Trinidad multiple times. I've flown to the Dominican. I've flown now to Chile. I've flown inside of Canada. Yeah. Bringing knitting and crochet items. I've never had anyone give me any restrictions.
Me neither.
At all. I've brought my metal thin with like my needles. Mm-hmm. I've brought my sharp tiny little scissors that like cut very, very well. No one ever questioned it. No one ever said anything. Yeah. On the plane, the first few times I remember it being scared, like I had read like they can, take it away or whatever. Yeah. So like when we went to Calgary, we only had did we have check luggage we had check luggage.
Did we?
We must have. I don't know. I forget.
Remember.
I've been to Calgary multiple times. I've also been to Winnipeg, so I'm mixing them up.
I think we did because we were expecting to get things from Our Maker Life, like yarn and bags and things like that. Yeah, I remember too.
Yeah. So usually when I have like a check bag, I try to put as much. Like I try to keep only what I need with me in the plane and put everything else in the check bag so that it's not so much for me to carry, and also like.
In case they take
something, they take like one set of needle and not my entire needle set or something. Yeah. But I've honestly never had issues. At most, they've made me pull it out because when they scanned it, like when they scanned my carry-on, they were like, this is a weird shape because my knitting needles are metal. And they've made me pull it out, and they gave me the advice, because again, mine are metal and they can see them really well, to just tell them that there's knitting, like a knitting project, and just pull, like, I don't even have to pull like my project with my needle like showing out, just like my knitting bag out so that they see it. And ever since I've started doing that, like I just tell them, oh, I have, a knitting project in there, and I pulled my knitting bag out of my carry-on. They've never questioned it, not once.
Oh, nice. So to me, I went to Chile one time. I've been to Chile back and forth from Canada multiple times. Like every single year I go, pretty much, except when the pandemic was happening I think when Isa was born, we didn't go either. So, but it's been like 8 years of me going probably 6 times back and forth. And one time I was making my nephew's blanket. So the classic blanket with the name that I make, that don't tell me, I know I need to make tails. I have it in my mindless thing to do that I need to do. So I was making Vicente's blanket, and he was already big. He was probably, I want to say 13, maybe 14. He's, I think, 16 now. So it's a couple of years. Oh no, he was probably younger than that because I was just pregnant with Luca, so 4 years ago. Anyways, I was making his blankets, so he was, let's say 12 or 13. He was a big boy already, so it couldn't be like this teeny tiny baby blanket. It had to be a blanket that was big enough for him.
Yeah.
So I was working on that blanket on my way to Chile, and it was so perfect because it was huge already when I was making it. And I brought my whole set of knitting needles. I brought the bamboo with me, and again, my scissors never had nothing happen with my scissors. I think they have to be a certain length for them to be, but mine's are pretty big. Like if I have it in here,
yeah, yours are much bigger than mine.
Are these ones? And I've always taken these ones with me. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I don't know how many inches. Let me see. I'll let you know. And nobody said anything. And I travel with Air Canada. It was international. These ones are, what do you count? Just this portion?
That I don't know. I think the whole thing.
Okay, so just the part where you cut, like where you open, it's 2.5 inches, and then the whole scissors is like 5 inches. So they didn't say anything for the scissors. I brought my bamboo knitting needle sets, didn't say anything, and all my stitch markers, tapestry needles, and my big balls of yarn. I was making this big blanket, so I had multiples, and never said anything to me. And it was perfect because it was such a long flight, and I was able to cover myself with the blanket. So that was amazing.
And it's good you mentioned Air Canada. Like, I've flown with knitting on Air Canada, on Sunwing, on WestJet, on Caribbean Airlines, and no one's ever questioned it. I think it's not so much the airline. I think it's more like each country's
I think so too,
customs. But honestly,
but even whenever you are on the plane, and if the flight attendants see you doing that, they could say something. They could, so
no one ever. And like, I had read that it depends, like each country can kind of decide whether they let you on or not
when you go through security.
I've never had an issue. And like, honestly, knitting and crochet is like a conversation starter with most people. Like, people are just like, oh, you knit, but you're so young, you know what I mean? Like, and then they go on about that and like don't even like question anything. Like, even when we came back from Chile, like, my knitting project was in my carry-on, and the guy asked, he's like, oh no, he saw yarn, actually. He saw yarn. And
it's funny how they can see that through the machine.
Well, he had opened it. He was like checking something else. But he was like, you have yarn in here. And I was like, yeah. He's like, you knit? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, my mom used to knit. And then like, they happily like tell you like, my mom used to make, and he's like, these like little doll dresses. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's with everyone, it's a conversation starter, you know? Like, when I was telling you, I took a walk with Theo at the park, and I was sitting on a bench, and like this old man walked by, and he was like, you knit? He's like, you're young to knit. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, my mom used to knit. Like, I got her to make me this sweater, like describe this entire sweater in detail to me. And I was like, oh, your mom's really nice.
That's so
like,
nice.
Most people are just like amazed that like this craft is like coming back in their eyes. Like, if you're part of the community, you know, like there's many of us. We like, you're not alone, you know, bringing this thing back. But like, I feel like people are more like amazed that you do, and they just talk to you about it more so than they're like, you can't bring your knitting needle. You know what I mean? Like, So no, I've never. And
I also feel like now it's a little bit more common, so they see it more often than not. Maybe back in the day when they used to see, and also like now we use these circular knitting needles, right? But if you get the big metal straight needles, I can see why they would say, hey, you can't bring that. Like, that's literally a stabbing wound.
Yeah.
And not that the short ones can't be. Like, they can also be very dangerous. But
I mean, the scissors we have, with how sharp they are, they can probably be more dangerous than anything else.
Oh, yeah. But I also feel like they can... These people are so smart. Like, security guys, women, they're just so smart. They can also see...
They're trained.
You. They're trained. They can see you. They can read you. And if it's a man looking weird, let's say, you know, like suspicious, not weird, suspicious.
Yeah.
And having big scissors or having something else, they could question him. But even if you're, you know, like a young girl or a young boy that likes to crochet and that likes to do knitting stuff, and you have everything, you have your project, you don't just have a random pair of scissors.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, it's not like I bring my knitting needles, but I have no yarn or anything, and it looks suspicious. Like, usually when we travel, like, at least for my part, I always bring a project with me on the plane, and you know, I might bring extra for over there, well, like in my check bag, but on the plane I bring you know, a project with my things. So it's not like I don't have just needles and scissors and nothing else. Like, I have yarn, and I have most likely a project cast on already, you know.
I feel like it would be more suspicious if you didn't have anything. And like, why would you bring, and why would you take the chance of them getting your stuff away if you didn't have any project on your needles or your crochet already? You know, like, I feel like most knitters and crocheters don't just bring a pair of scissors or your knitting needles or your crochet hooks for the fun of it.
No,
you know, you're usually working on something.
Any free time is a good knitting or crochet time. Yeah.
So I really feel like they know already. Like I said, it would be more suspicious if you didn't have anything, you know, pair with your knitting needles and crochet hook. So definitely when traveling, go prepare with that. If possible, cast on your project before. And if you're working on a crochet project, start it before, so then they can see already that you have everything and you're not just somebody randomly crossing the borders or whatever with a crochet hook or knitting needles. Like, make it look normal, legit, that you are working on the project.
Yeah. Also,
and I feel like
the wise, print your pattern or download it beforehand.
Yeah.
You cannot, unless you pay for it, you cannot access Wi-Fi on the internet to find an online pattern. So print it or download it before.
Yeah, that's a very good tip too. So then you have everything ready.
Yes.
What else? So the time that I traveled, I had, like I said, my bamboo circular knitting needles, my scissors, yarn, and I feel like I didn't care about separating things. I just brought my whole bag with everything that I had in it, like all my hooks, all my like, I didn't do it like you, for example, that you had those knitting needles.
I did that at first, like the first few times, because I was so worried that they were gonna take, because like also your knitting needles are like bamboo, mine are metal, so I was worried like they were gonna show up more on the scan or something, and they would be like, no, you can't bring those. So I was like so worried. So I literally, like, I only brought when I needed, put everything. Now I don't care.
Oh yeah, like, it's like I said, I feel like now it's so much more, but I still get comments from people saying, how did you travel with that? I wasn't able to bring this, or they say something. So to me, it's so weird that they say something to people. Yeah. Because I never heard of it. That never happened to me. I've never even got questioned. I got questioned more for the things that I bring for my kids, like their water bottles and stuff like that, than my crochet hooks or bags. So it's like, why?
It also depends.
And what airline?
Where you're flying from and to. But from, I guess, America, North America, South America, like Central America, it hasn't been an issue neither for me or you. So I guess it depends, you know, maybe where you're flying to. But I know, like, I was reading online at the beginning, and I was like, so many people were saying like, oh, you know, it's up to them. Like, it's not that you're allowed, but you're not allowed. It's basically up to their discretion whether they let you on with it and stuff. And I was so worried I'd, get someone that was just like having a bad day and being like, no, you can't bring it. Like, you got to give it to me. And like, but like,
don't even get me started with that, because the fact that they can also do that to let you in a country or not, just because they're having a shitty day.
Yeah.
Like, there should be standards or something that they should meet, because...
Well, they have, but yeah.
The first time that I came to this country, they almost didn't let me in because I was so young and by myself.
Really?
I know. It's ridiculous. But yeah, like, don't even get me started with that, because it just pissed me off that they, just because they're having a bad day, they're like, oh no, you're going to go back to your country. It's like, woman or man, I don't know. But anyways.
But yeah, what kind of projects do you bring on vacation? Do you have like a specific type?
Usually back in the day, again, I don't do that anymore with my kids. I'm hoping to see the day again where I can do that whenever. If they were both Lucas' age, because Lucas is really good. Like, he's 3.5 now. And he sits there super quiet. He gets his snack. He watches his shows or whatever. And, even if he wanted to do something else, he's not really into coloring or anything like that. So for me, it's really hard to bring him something different on the plane. I was really into coloring when I was a kid, and bring me anywhere with a pen and colors, and I was happy. So I'm hoping that Isa would be a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Luca, he's not. Like, I've tried multiple times, and he's just not interested. No. So I let him watch his shows. He has his headphones that he only uses whenever we travel far. So he got his headphones. He was watching his shows or whatever. So he's really, really quiet. So I feel like if Isa gets to that age, 3.5, and she's also that quiet, I will be able to bring my projects again and work quietly. And if they ask for something, whatever, like, you do it. But it's not like you're rocking a baby and getting them to sleep and doing all of that, that we did. So usually before them, I would bring either a blanket or maybe a sweater or something that I didn't need that many balls of yarn, and that I didn't need
a blanket?
Well, because you work in the blanket. Okay.
So you're bringing long projects that take a long time to make.
Yes. Vicente's blanket was the exception because I needed to make it for him. I told him I was going to make it, and that was the only thing I was making in that moment. So yes, that was like a big project, because it's also work with wool is thick and quick, so it's big, and the blanket was massive, and the skeins were the big skeins.
Yeah.
So that's the exception to the rule. But usually something like a sweater, something that I don't need to think about it. I don't need to be focused on a pattern, something that I already know how to make it. Multiple times when I went to Chile, I was preparing for markets. So I brought skins to make hats, so I could just make a hat while I was watching a movie. Things that I didn't need to be really focused or concentrated.
That's so interesting. I'm like the opposite.
What?
I've brought socks. I've brought sweaters. I try to find a project that takes the least amount of space, like something small but that takes a while. So like socks, they take no space at all, but they take a while to knit up. The yarn is tiny. Like, I brought this sweater because it's the light version, so it's made with like very thin yarn. Like, my balls of yarn take no space at all. And I'm like, this is the time where I can focus and do, like, I'm in a plane, I'm trapped, I have nothing else to do. Like, I can figure out a pattern. Like, the first time I did socks, I followed this whole, I had printed off this whole tutorial. It was explaining thoroughly every part of making a sock, the ribbing, the heel, the toe, the cuff, the whatever, everything. And I literally brought it on the plane with me because I was like, the yarn is tiny. It's one tiny little ball.
Yeah.
The needles are tiny. And like, so I just brought the pattern and I like read through everything and figured everything out and like did it all on the plane because I was like, I'm trapped here. I have nothing else to do. Like, you know, why not? So I'm more like, give me something a little bit more complicated because I have no distractions and I can focus on it. And I try to like find the smallest project. Like, I would never bring, you know, big skeins for a hat or a blanket. Like, that's the opposite of what I would bring.
It's because usually for me, the times that I've traveled, guys, I haven't traveled that much in my life. I've only been to the States, and if from here, depending on where you're going, it's not that far. Mm-hmm. And also to Chile, like that's And then when I used to live in Chile, I went within South America, like Brazil, Argentina, so that, you know, I went when I was younger, so I wasn't really into knitting and crocheting. I would do things, but at home, I would just leave them at home. It wasn't like, oh, I need to bring this with me.
It's also worth to mention, like, when you go there, when you go to Chile, you go for, like, multiple weeks at a time. So, like, it makes sense that you're bringing, you know, bigger projects and stuff. Yeah. Whereas I mainly have done, like, week to 3 weeks long trip. And it's, like, a lot of those were, like, resorts or, like, you know, like, I'm on my own, like, going on an adventure. Like, so I've never been, like, oh, I'm going to see family so I can like bring stuff and be comfortable. It's always been like, I'm on the go. I have to bring like pack smart and like bring as little as possible. Yeah. So
to me, like, it was different. Pretty much every time that I went to Chile, I was preparing for markets or doing, you know, the other thing that I was doing was doing workshops in Chile. Yes, with my followers in Chile. So I would bring yarn to make hats there. So I will need a hat or something just to have as, you know, to show them. And then I would bring all the yarn and all the pom-poms and stuff to do the workshop and the knitting needles. But then every time that I would go, I would take that time to prepare for markets. So I'm trapped on a plane for 10 and a half hours. So I would just bring stuff to make hats and stuff like that for markets. I didn't do anything like a selfish project that I can say, oh, I'm just going to take this time to make a sweater for myself. Like I don't even think I have a sweater for myself knit yet.
Which we're changing this Christmas because while we were on, let's spin off of that. While we were on vacation, it was our plan to pick out our Christmas sweaters for next year so that it doesn't happen like it did last year. And we finished them in January and take a picture and that's it. The goal is to actually have them and wear them and enjoy them. Yeah. And we've decided to do, go ahead,
the flag sweater for the pattern that's going to be like the Ron Weasley sweater.
Yes. So we're going to use the flag sweater and then do the letters in front. Mm-hmm. We have to pick our colors and our yarn, which we haven't done yet.
Yeah, we haven't picked the yarn or the colors yet. We still don't know if we're going to do fancy yarn or just regular yarn. And we don't know the colors yet. We said that we wanted different colors for boys and girls. Yes. And we know the sweater. We know the pattern. And like the type, what we're doing, which is the Ron Weasley sweater for Harry Potter, if you guys haven't watched that. So yeah, we're doing that. And we're doing that, the simple one this year, because this is the year that we want to do it for everybody.
Yes. So the boyfriends, the kids, us.
Yeah. Everyone. So I have one extra person to knit it than you.
Then I,
Yeah. So now it's going to do it for...
But you knit faster than me, so I have more knitting to do. Have more knitting time.
I need quite faster, yeah. I need quite fast, yeah. But we'll see. Like we have to pick the colors and stuff because like we need to do this now because it's just so scary how fast the time goes. Oh my God, we're not even gonna notice, and it's gonna be summer.
Yeah, I know.
And then everything happens in the summer. Like we have so many plans. We have to book the Sugar Shack. We already have booked to go to the Cirque du Soleil in freaking, when is it? In August.
August, yes.
Like
Jenny was traumatized. Eric and I do this all the time. We book stuff ahead of time because then we have something to look forward to. And then every time it comes around, we're like, oh, we have this like next week. Oh, great. Like, it's so much fun. Dani was traumatized that we were booking stuff for August.
She's like, the Cirque du Soleil's coming. I'm like, oh, that's fun. I've never been. I want to go. It sounds fun. And I really, like, I've always want to go. She's like, yeah, it's in August. It's like, Nat,
I was like, should we go? And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay, let's book tickets. And she's like, now? I'm like, well, yeah.
I know.
But did you see how little room there was left?
No.
When we picked the seats, do you remember how like?
Oh yeah.
There wasn't that many seats left. Like obviously we picked one of like the first representation. They're there for like I think a month or a month and a half. But like, it books up. Like, if you wait last minute, like you don't have a choice on your tickets or anything.
Or then you pay crazy expensive because everybody's reselling the tickets and stuff. So
we're not about that life. But no, it was. I like booking stuff ahead of time, and then it's like a surprise when it comes. It's like shopping on Amazon and so much that you forget it's coming to your door. It's the same thing, but with events.
Yeah, that's me. Most of the time. Like, oh, another package from Amazon. What did I order this time?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think this episode was the longest, talking about the knitting and stuff on the plane, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was so fun. And
a little catch up at the same time.
Yeah, of course. It always has to be a little catch up at the same time. It's not an episode of ours if it's not a little catch up.
Yeah, there's not like 20 minutes of blah blah at the beginning and then like another 10 in the middle and then maybe 5 more at the end.
Yeah, I know. The last episode or 2 that you guys seen, if you watch it on YouTube, I'm sorry, it looks choppy for some reason. I was telling Nat, I don't know why. It looked like now it was fine. This video was fine. So hopefully it's okay. It's nothing that we can do. It's just the platform. I don't know why it was recording like that, but yeah, it looks like this time it's good. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed that it works out. But at least you can hear us properly. And just stick with us. If like the beginning is a little choppy, it gets better after.
Yeah, and the audio quality is always good, whether it's here on YouTube or you're listening on the podcast. The audio quality is always good. So at least that's good. The video, we're still working on it. It's getting better. So.
We'll get there, guys. We'll get there.
Yeah. And like you guys can see now, we don't have that huge production now to do the podcast together because we can't. There's babies and little teeny tiny babies involved, so we can't go, or Natalie can come like she used to. She would come once a week. It was so fun, but it's always like quite a drive for her to come.
Yeah, it's almost an hour.
I had the kids, they were little, so I couldn't go to her, and now she has her own, so it's difficult, but at least this way we can still record the podcast and we can still see each other and it's still fun.
Yes. And if you have anything you want to chat with us about, any questions, any ideas for future podcasts, you can email us at dropastitchpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere where you listen to a podcast, please rate us 5 stars because that always helps us to boost our podcast and tell people more about it. If you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, hello. Please subscribe, leave a comment, and share the video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode.
Yes. Have a great week, everyone.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.